Very good morning to all. I welcome you for today's lecture on break-even analysis. This term may be uttered as break-even point, break-even analysis, no profit, no loss point, and a saddle point also. These 3 to 4 words may be technically sound. The people who are aware about the economics, commerce, business management may only catch the meaning of it, but a layman may not understand. Hence, to nurture some amount of light over this phenomenon, today I would like to make my crispy talk on this identified area. My dear participants and audience, before we straightaway entered into the concept, let us have a cursory discussion. When you start a business, don't think business means always the activity being undertaken by the Reliance, Mapatlal, Ashoka, Leylands and etc. people. Even a common man, if you are a vegetable seller in the business, any integrated market, even if you sell a small tickly that can be weighed by the women, that may be the investment of rupees 100 to 100 crores. But everybody would like to initially reach a place that though I am not able to reap the returns, profits, at least I have to stand on my own feet. Technically it is that I should not incur into loss. I least bother even if I don't gear up the profits, but at least have to reach the place where I do not incur into the loss. So this is the ultimate objective and purpose of any business organization, institution or a person, right from the gigantic organization like Reliance and Tata to ordinary medical shop and a pawn shop fellow. But if a fellow is technically equipped, how to get that place where even I continually take up my work, I should not incur into loss, then how to do it? So if that fellow can get some knowledge over to reach the place technically, then they can run the business without any loss and they can sustain for a long period and need not to shutter their activities early days itself with a pessimistic approach. So, to throw some light over this phenomenon, today I have made the topic to talk, that is break-even analysis. Yeah, the break-even analysis, this is a technical term. Basically, it is used in quantitative economics, where quantitative metrics can be thought in a managerial decisions and even to calculate the cost value profit ranges. Hence, it is a purely quantitative phenomenon. It is a technical aspect, so that we should have some knowledge. Though it is a technical, I can make it as a very simple in a descriptive way. It is a mathematical approach to calculate the point of break even, that is where we cannot incur any loss or profit. We should use certain formulas. Don't be panic. The formulas will not be very tough like algebraic equations. Very simple with the equations we will calculate this point. And this break even point, what it can immediately do? Simple. It can make an analysis. Analysis means what? Comparison, differentiation, constructing the relationship. This is altogether called as a analyzing. So that the break-even point can analyze the relationship between the sales and cost. How many sales you have made, to make them, how much cost you incurred. So it can, this technical device, break-even point can make an analysis between these two things, sales and cost. But remember, a layman can understand cost means an expenditure, but as far as our commerce, business economics and managerial perspective, cost can be divided into two broad spectrums, that is fixed cost and variable cost. And it can also be termed as a profit control point, cost managing point, and it can enable us how to equal the total sales volume with the cost element. So if we know how to get this point, you need not to bother about your future difficulties, because future is always uncertain. It is not in your hands. Can anybody say future is in my hand? Certainly no, because it is completely uncertain phenomenon. So in an uncertain phenomenon, risks will be involved a lot. So that every businessman, a potentially to become a strong personality and icon in the days to come in the business, should have a knowledge of sustain himself. To sustain himself and to run his business for a longer period, you should know how to make a nexus, means connection between the sales and the cost. For that, this is a wonderful technique, has been used for 100 years together. Then it is widely used not only in that phenomenon, can also to make a general and production segments. Then, what is break-even analysis otherwise? This is, I said, break-even point is where total sales, total costs are equal. But to make them analyze what to do to reach that point, we will apply some techniques, some methods, some tools, all of them together called as analysis. So that the break-even analysis is, see, just if you look at the slide, you can find analysis made over the break-even point. Break-even analysis is making the analysis on the break-even point. And what is break-even point? That is the second point in this slide, can reach you very close, that break-even point is a point where there is no profit, no loss. Remember, a budding businessman should not expect to profit early himself. Initially, he should not look at the profits. Sir, today I have started profit. May I get I have started business today morning. Can I get profit by today evening? Certainly no. If you aim that immediate profit, short-term profit, early profit, certainly it is that your business will be closed so early. So then what I have to do, sir? You should reach early a point where there are no profits, there are no losses. You should stand. Yes, I spent 100 rupees, I received 100 rupees benefit. That is great. If you continue this, you can get the so many other supportive aspects. Then in the long run, you can get the profits. Hence why first we should aim at the point where we will not meet any excess of our sales amount. So sales and cost both should be equal. That is the point. Break-even point is the point where there is no profit, no loss. Technically, in a managerial perspective, we use a formula. Symbolically, wherever you see, you can find a symbol about the BEP. BEP means break-even point, can be indicated with TR is equal to TC. What is TR? Total revenue is equal total cost. For example, I have manufactured 10 pens. I sold these 10 pens at the rate of 20 rupees each, so that I got 200 rupees. Then how much I spent to produce these pens? 200 rupees I spent. So the cost I incurred is 200, and after selling these 20 pens I received the amount 200. Both are same. So the amount I received for the sales is called TR, total revenue. And to produce the 20 pens, you have incurred so many types of expenditure. Together it is called as TC, that is total cost. Both are same. So when they meet together at a particular point, that point is called break-even point. Of course, now you can understand, if your TR is more than the TC, you are getting the profit. If your TR is less than the TC, you will incur into loss. These fluctuations will take place in the longer period. But initially, what we have to do as a business people, we should be there where TR is equal to TC. That is, symbolically we represent BEP. So if anybody asks what is BEP, simply say that BEP is equal, TR is equal to TC. And to understand, yes, that is not enough. If you just all the way you speak TR is equal to TC is my BEP, your knowledge is cannot be say he has equipped with a huge amount of information. You need much more information about this. So to understand this break-even point, we require to have more things also about it. Then yes, these are the unless and until either a student or a businessman or analyst who want to make his presentation on break even point, you should be very thorough and equipped with knowledge over these elements. These are called as basic elements of BEP or important ingredients of break even analysis. One must know it. For example, I will ask you a small question. If you want to say that I know very much about cricket, what should you know? You should know what is batting, what is bowling, what is LBW, what is DRS, and who is umpire, who is third man, what is LBW. These are the basics. These are the fundamental terminology. Unless and until you have a knowledge over these things, nobody can say that you are an authoritarian over cricket knowledge. Similarly, here also, to make somebody that yes, this guy have good knowledge over break-even analysis, you should have with knowledge of these elements. These are called elements of break-even point. What are they? Total cost. You should know what is total cost. I can give you very simple and crispy meaning. Fixed cost, variable cost, total sales, BEP, contribution. I made it with a red letters. That is very important. This is fulcrum, the crux of the break-even point. Unless and until you are thorough about the contribution, your knowledge cannot be highlighted over break-even point. This is a significant element in this, and profit loss and BE chart. Now I can give you brief meaning of all these. Total cost. What is total cost? Total cost is equal FC plus VC. What is FC? Fixed cost. What is VC? Variable cost. So in every business organization, that may be a manufacturing or export or import, trade, industry, commerce, whatever activity you do, people can incur into some expenditure. That expenditure, for our convenience, we will categorize it into two broad segments. One is fixed cost, another one is variable cost. For example, if you have started a Xerox machine shop, I mean you have started a shop where you are doing the Xerox works. To get the Xerox of student copies, what you required? You required the Xerox machine, you required the papers, you required the electricity support, and some ink should also be used in the cartridge of the Xerox machine. Now, for this you have incurred around 3 to 4 lakhs expenditure. We will call all together them as the total cost. But we as a economic student, business management student, should have more focus over it. Those all expenses should be categorized into two parts. One is fixed cost, another one is variable cost. What are the fixed costs? The fixed costs, as I said, second one is which are not repetitive in nature. It can be incurred once in a life period. For example, whenever student come for Xerox, can you purchase a Xerox machine? No. If a student come for 10 papers of Xerox, the same Xerox machine you will use. If a student come for 100 paper Xerox, same Xerox machine we will use. Even if somebody come for 2000 Xerox papers, the same Xerox machine will be used. So Xerox machine cannot be changed. But what can be changed? Consumption of electricity will be changed. For example, to take 10 papers of Xerox, you may be using 10 units of electricity only. But if you want to take 1000 papers Xerox, can you make it with 10 units of electricity? No, you have to spend 1000 units of electricity. Similarly, papers, to take the Xerox, if you want 100 copies, 100 white papers you require. If you want 4 Xerox, 4 papers you require. But remember, Xerox machine is only one. So the amount spent on Xerox machine is called fixed cost, and the cost is spent on paper, ink, electricity. These are called the variable cost. So as your production units changes, your cost will be changed. That is called variable cost. Without any relating, irrespective of the volume of the production, if your cost is same, constant, that is called the fixed cost. So that the total cost is equal to what? FC plus VC. Fixed FC means fixed cost, which can be constant. It cannot change as volume of sales, as volume of production changes. It can be incurred in a huge amount. It is for a long period of life, in a period of life period, once or twice it may be incurred, but not repetitive, recurring in nature. But certain expenditure which is recurring in nature, repetitively happen, and as per the volume of the production, this cost can be changed. Then it is called variable cost. For your understanding, my dear friends, to get the profit, which is the deciding element? Is it fixed cost or variable cost? Which can decide your profit margin? Is it fixed cost or variable cost? For example, let me continue previous one. If you take one Xerox paper for 1 rupee, in that if your profit is 25 paisa, if you get 10 Xerox papers, you will have 10 25 NPs as profit. If you take only 4 Xerox papers, 425 NPs as profit. If you take 1000 Xerox papers, 1025 NPs as profit. But remember, by changing the papers, your profit amount is varying, but Xerox machine is not deciding your profit. Hence, why we can infer here that fixed cost is not the determinant of your profit. Variable cost is the determinant of your profit. Then BEP, as you say, we just discussing BEP is a break-even point where TR is equal TC. Otherwise, where there are no profits and no losses, that particular point. Then contribution. This is important point to be remembered. What is contribution? The difference between sales and variable cost is called contribution. It is deciding factor of your profit. So that contribution should be easily remembered as a formula that sales minus variable cost. Then the another element is profit or loss. How can you identify it? If TR is greater than TC, means your total revenue is more than the total cost you incurred into profit. If your total revenue is less than the total cost, you incurred into the loss. So that the profit or loss is the difference between TR and TC. Then B chart. This break-even point can be calculated or can be presented in two ways with a formula or algebraic signs. That is one method. The same if you represent with the help of a graph or a chart, that is called BE chart. You can find in the next slide this. Yes, this is break-even chart. To analyze the break-even point, we can depend on mathematical equation. Number one, I can show you here. Yeah, this is, there are two methods to compute and analyze the break-even point. One method is called algebraic method, means formula method, mathematical method. Second one is graphic or chart method, means it is a statistical method. With the help of drawing a graph or preparing a chart, can also we can locate the point where there is a BEP. So let me first get you the break-even point. With this graph, with this chart, I can get you how to locate the point of BEP. Just look at this slide. I have taken OX axis. On OX axis, I have taken total sales, and on OY axis, I have taken the TR, total revenue. And if you draw the line, remember, if you draw the straight line like here, that will be a cost element. Then, see, this is the point. This point where revenue and cost, revenue line and cost line are crossing here, clashing here, so that this profit is called BEP. From this we can understand one more thing. What is that? Before the BEP, always you are in the margin of loss. That is with a red space I highlighted. And once you cross the BEP point, you start earning the profit. So this is marked with the green chart. So if you look at this slide, what you are finding? Revenue is there, cost is there, loss is there, profit, variable cost, fixed cost, and sales. All important elements of your BEP and are portrayed in this chart. So the point, this arrow, if you look at where TR and TC is clashing, that particular point is called BEP, and to reach the point to reach that point, behind that place is called the loss, above that point is called the profit margin. Then, yeah, in an algebraic method, how it can be calculated, a formula to be remembered that BEP is equal simply FC by S minus VC. What is FC? Fixed cost. The formula fixed cost by S minus VC. S is what? Sales. VC is called variable cost. So that break-even point can be calculated mathematically as what? FC by S minus VC. Previously I explained you S minus VC is called contribution. So that we can also simplify the formula BP is equal F by C. What is F? Fixed cost. What is C? C is sales minus variable cost. Otherwise, we can write straight away broader sense BEP is equal FCB by S minus VC. I can illustrate a couple of problems at the end. You can understand more from that. Then, yes. Can BEP analysis is universal? Can it be applied everywhere? And can it give the same result? No. Every science, every doctrine, every proposition depends on some assumptions. If these things are available, my formula will prevail. Similarly, here too, break-even analysis can be made when we have the atmosphere of with these elements. Those are called as the presumptions or assumptions. Number one is yes. All costs should be broadly divided into two segments only. Fixed cost, variable cost. This is first assumption. If any amount you spent on producing the product, that all amount you spent, which will be termed as total cost, should be divided into two parts only. One is fixed cost, another one is the variable cost. That is the first assumption. If you are not able to divide the cost into fixed and variable, our formula will not work. To work our formula, your total cost should be divided basically from high, fixed and variable. That is the first assumption. Second one is fixed costs are always constant. It should not change. Fixed cost should be constant. It should not change as volume of sale change, as volume of manufacturing change. It should be remain constant irrespective of the volume of sales and production. Third one is variable cost fluctuate proportion to the volume of production. If your production increases, variable cost increases. If your production decreases, variable cost decreases. That phenomenon should also be prevailed. And fourth assumption is selling price remains constant. Selling price remains constant. Means irrespective of the suppliers, irrespective of the market demand, sales price should be the same. It should be constant. This is getting some criticism. Is it possible in our real world? Can sales price will be constant? For example, if I introduce 100 kgs of tomatoes into the market, when there are so many people selling the tomatoes, can I sell 50 rupees for cash? Certainly no. I have to get down the price. If there is more demand for the tomatoes, I may sometimes increase the price of the product so that it has certain criticism. We can discuss it later. Then units produced and sold are same, means homogeneous. Whatever units you produce, whatever products you produce, they should be also the same in size, color, quantity, usage, taste, and applicability. This is another assumption. And no change in operating efficiency. What is operating efficiency? The machine efficiency, human resources efficiency should also be the same entire the process of production. This is also affected with the criticism that it is not possible. For example, take me, my energies for the first period will be more rich than the second period. But you cannot expect the same amount of energy at fourth period. Can you expect? Certainly no. So that profession here operating efficiency as per the BEP analysis is should be same, constant, but it may not be possible in real world. And production methods are also same. Production method should not be changed occasionally and periodically, time and again. For the entire lifespan of the process, the same method of production should be used. Then production volume only influences the cost. No fixed cost, no persons, no strategies, no policies influence the cost of the product. That can be only influenced by the production volume. So these are the assumptions. And where we can use these break-even analysis. This break-even analysis is help in the determination of selling price. Unless and until we know what is the break-even point, we cannot decide the price of the product. So to determine the selling price of the product, one must be aware and one must be thorough with the knowledge of break-even point. And it helps in the fixation of sales value to cover a given return on capital employed. Yes, to get back my capital, whatever I invested, how much sales I have to make. For example, I have spent 20 lakhs rupees in this business to produce the laptops or to produce the manufacture the cell phones and sell. Then at least to get back my capital, that is up to 20 lakhs, how many cell phones I have to manufacture? I should know it. So that can be known only with the help of the break-even analysis. Of course, some other techniques are there, but in this case, it can help a lot. And it helps in forecasting the cost. Forecast means estimation, predicting the cost, and also not only cost, but also the profit as a change of value. Then of course, in other heads also we can make use of the break-even analysis. Like, when you start a new business, this can help you. How many amounts have to be produced, how much cost you have to spend to make a connection between, total sales and cost. What should be the point to be located? To get this knowledge, this technique can be enable us. Next, creating a new product. How to diversify my products, how to design the new product to attract and attend and get the capture of attention of the customers, and changing the business models. Business model should also be changed as and when market requires, as people's taste changes, habit changes, market demands. Your business model should also be changed. To make the change, this can help as one of the elements. And the revenue analysis, cost analysis, and even certain other marketing phenomenon purposes, we can make use of them. Now, my friends, this is all theoretical perspective. Now, to explain the problem, how to calculate break-even point, I can give you a short problem here. Let me explain it. Then, just see the elements here. What are things I have taken? Total sales are there, fixed cost is there, variable cost is there, and I am asking you to find the BEP. How to find the BEP? Now, see, if you look at this slide, you can find sales. I am taking simple, yes. Otherwise, let me write full. Sales is equal something I have taken 100. And the second one is fixed cost FC. FC is I have taken how much? 36. And VC, variable cost, I have taken 48. Now I am asking you to calculate the BEP. What is BEP? This is the problem. Simple problem. Then let me computation of BEP. First let me write the formula. BEP is equal, as I said in our previous case, when I explained in previous slide, fixed cost by sales minus variable cost. Otherwise, in a simple way, we can call it as F by C. Then what is C? Therefore, C is equal simply S minus VC. So, whatever thing you write, but simply now let me substitute the values into this formula. BEP is equal FC, fixed cost. Just look at the slide and point. That is 36 by S minus VC. S is what? Sales. How much sales you have? 100. Minus what is VC, variable cost? 48 is equal 36 by 52. If you get, then the point values, if you take it, it is 0. You can find with your help of your calculator 6923. This is BEP value. Therefore, BEP, break even point, is equal 0.6923, or if we multiply with 100, or we will get 69.23. This is the way of computing the BEP, simple way. BEP is equal fixed cost by C. C is what? S minus, so sales minus variable cost. That is the way you can apply. And I can get you one more problem also here. Yeah, see that? How can you get the value of BEP here in this case? The second one, it is this is first illustration, and even if you take the second illustration, what it is there? The total sales are 80,000, fixed cost is 28,000, variable cost is 35,000. Then we can calculate what is the value of the variable. So let me do the same. Yeah. So just you to try working on it. Meanwhile, I can solve on the board. Here the same thing. What is there? Sales. Sales is equal 80,000, and fixed cost is equal, simply I can indicate with as FC, is equal how much? 28,000, and variable cost is equal 35,000. Now I am asking you, BEP is equal, calculate the BEP. Then first we will, the computation of BEP will begin with writing the formula. BEP is equal FC, fixed cost, by sales minus variable cost. We can also write it in a simple way, F by C. C means what? Contribution. Therefore, C is equal to S minus VC. Remember, even sometimes in a competitive examination, you will get this question, how contribution is calculated. Contribution is equal sales minus variable cost. So now you substitute the value. Therefore, BEP is equal fixed cost. What is the fixed cost here? 28,000 rupees by sales value is 80,000 minus variable cost is 35,000 rupees is equal 28,000 by how much it is? 45,000. If you divide it, 28,000 divided by 45,000, it will become 0.622. If we represent in the percentage, then you multiply with 100. Therefore, BEP is equal 0.622 or 62.2. This is the value of BEP to be calculated. So now, today with this presentation, we came to know that what is the break-even point, what are the important components of break-even point, and how to analyze the break-even point, and what are the assumptions to be kept in mind while dealing with the business break-even point, and where we can apply the break-even analysis, and how it is useful in economic life as well as in the real life, and how to calculate the point, break-even point, when it is given in the units as well as the rupees. I have explained in part 1, and more complicating with the help of this break-even point, how charts are designed, how graphs are presented, and when units only given instead of the cost, and how to construct the relationship between the cost and value. Those things can be learned in an advanced way of analyzing the break-even point. Thank you very much. I hope you have received and I have made my connection with you by my presentation. Again, we will meet you in the next class. Bye. Good luck. Thank you.